Hello everyone, my name is Caitlin Morton and today we are going to be making homemade bread. It is a super easy recipe, anybody can do it, and it is very cost effective, so much cheaper than buying bread in the store, and it tastes better. So if you're interested in learning about how to make homemade bread, make sure to keep watching until the end. So to get started, we are going to get out our mixing bowl. We are going to attach our dough hook attachment. I use this for my pie crust, my bread, and anything that is going to be doughy, even pizza dough. Next, we are going to measure out 5 cups of all-purpose flour. I like to sift my flour. It just makes the bread a little softer and gives it a less doughy texture. You can get a sifter pretty much anywhere. This one was actually my grandmother's, so it has kind of been there, done that as far as baking. So we are sifting our flour. We are doing 5 cups. I have 3 cups in the sifter right now. I'm going to do 2 more cups. Next, we are going to get our yeast ready. So we are going to get a 1/4 cup, and the temperature of the water is extremely important. I can do it by touch now because I've been doing it so long, but for video purposes, I am going to show you. I just have a regular thermometer that I use for meat and everything else that I make. You want the temperature to be 110 degrees. As close as you can get it to 110, the better. So we have a 1/4 cup. Then we are going to put 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. I use active dry yeast. Then we're going to stir that around to dissolve the yeast. After that is done, we are then going to activate the yeast by feeding it 1 teaspoon of sugar. That will make the yeast grow and foam like you want it to. They will eat on all of that sugar and it will make the yeast expand. Okay, we're going to let this sit until it doubles in size. Usually I wait until it's about to the 1 cup line and then I dump it in. While the yeast is proofing, we're going to go ahead and add in all of our other ingredients, our dry ingredients, to our sifted flour. So we need 1 teaspoon of salt, 4 tablespoons of sugar, I'm going to go ahead and let the dough hook stir the dry ingredients together. Now our yeast is all done proofing. You can see that it rose. I usually wait till it rises up to the 1 cup level. We started down at the 4th. So I wait till it rises up. Now we're going to go ahead and dump this into our dry ingredients. We're going to go ahead and let that stir. Then we are going to add in another cup of warm water. You want it to be 110 degrees. And you do want your dough to be soft and pliable, so we are going to add another 1/4 cup of warm water just to give it that really sticky texture. Last but not least, our last ingredient is 1 1/2 tablespoons of butter. I just put it in the microwave for maybe 10 seconds just to let it melt a little bit. We're going to add that in. Now we're just going to continue to let it knead the dough. You want the dough to be a little stickier than the pie crust. You want it to clean the edges of the bowl just like it's doing. Once it's fully incorporated and not changing texture, I let the dough hook knead for maybe a minute. Perfect. And that is exactly what it should do. It should stick to the dough hook and be all on the dough hook and just spinning around the bowl just like it's doing. So we're going to go ahead and stop the KitchenAid and flip it up. That is perfect. That's exactly what it should do. It should stick completely to the dough hook. You want this to be a very sticky dough. So we're going to scrape it all off. Next, we are going to put a piece of cling wrap or saran wrap across the top. Some people do change out the bowl. I honestly don't. Again, I'm all about the cleanup end of things. So I don't oil the bowl. I don't do anything with the bowl. I just leave it in the original bowl and put saran wrap over the top. And then I'm going to place this on top of my preheated oven. So I'm just going to place it on top of the stove, somewhere in the middle of the stove. The oven is preheated to 350 degrees, which is what we are going to bake the bread at. So I'm just going to set this on the stove to let it rise the first time, and then we will check back. While our bread is rising, I thought I would check in on Millie. You can see she's not up to too much. It's also why I do not have any nice pillows. What do you think, Mills? Huh? Can you pick up your head, at least? You're just too tired. She's overworked. Also wanted to check in on my garden seeds I started about a week and a half ago. They really seem to be looking good. I have all my tomatoes here. The soil's nice and moist. I don't think I need to water anything. I have my peppers back here. They're just starting to pop through. You have to put 2 seeds in 1 container so that they germinate correctly. That's kind of how peppers roll. And then we have our zucchini. That zucchini is doing really well. Wow. And then we have our cucumbers up here as well. So just a few seeds that I got started. My garden's going to have much, much more than this, but this is just my early stuff. And everything that I grow, I do not buy any plants. I grow all of my stuff from seeds. Just like to do it the old-fashioned way. You always want to make sure that you know how to grow things from seeds in case there's ever a plant shortage or something happens in the world. I just want to be as self-sufficient as possible. So to keep the knowledge, you have to continue to polish up on all of the new things and new ways to grow seeds. As you can see, the dough rose up really nice. So we are ready to go ahead and divide it out into loaves. So we are going to go ahead and get this divided out. This recipe makes 2 loaves. Today, we really don't need 2 loaves. We just need 1. So I'm going to use the other loaf and make it into pepperoni rolls. This recipe, you can do a loaf of bread, dinner rolls, pepperoni rolls, cinnamon rolls, pizza dough. Like, this is a very versatile recipe. I've used it on all the things I just mentioned, and it works really well. So to get started here, you are just going to take off your saran wrap, and then you're going to pull the dough together, get it pulled off the sides. It will get smaller because you are deflating it. Then I'm going to get it up out of the bowl. And I'm going to set it on a piece of wax paper, use my dough cutter and cut it exactly in half, as close as I can. So it is in half here, and then you are just going to put it in the pan. I use like a medium sized, the size that I typically use for banana bread and smaller loaves is what I do with my regular bread as well. By the time it puffs up and kind of comes over the sides, you have plenty. It's a nice size by the time it's done baking. So we just put it in there, and then always make sure you want to push it down, fill in all the creases, because you do not want a big air pocket, because when you slice it, you're going to have a big hole in the middle of your bread. So I always push it down with my fingertips, get it nice and filling up all of the corners. And then just leave it exactly like that, put it back on the stove and let it rise. Now I'm going to go ahead and make some pepperoni rolls. This video really isn't about pepperoni rolls, so I'm not going to get into great detail about it. The bread rose up, so I went ahead and stuck it in the oven. We are baking it at 350 for 20 minutes. If you're just doing one loaf like I am, then I would start with 15 minutes and then check it to make sure it's not too brown on top. The bread is all finished. So here is the final product. You can see it has pretty nice height above the pan. That's exactly what you want. It will rise a little more as you're baking it. Now that we've taken it out of the oven, we want to go ahead and turn it out onto a wire rack. This will allow the bread to go ahead and cool and not get all mushy and moist. Bread tends to hold moisture. So it is good to go ahead and turn it out on a wire rack and let it sit and cool. Thank you for watching. I hope you were able to learn something about making bread. Please comment below. Let me know if you have any issues or questions or things you'd like me to explain better. As always, please like and subscribe. I will be posting many more videos on homemaking, homesteading, just creating things from scratch and really valuing your family and giving them the healthiest lifestyle that you can. Thanks for watching.